Hey all, I've got some really good settings for you guys for your Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League playthrough to make it more enjoyable. At least it's made it more enjoyable for me. It's helped with my FPS, it's helped how the game looks, and it really matters to me. I'm by no means an expert in these games or anything like that with graphics, but I am your average gamer who cares about how it looks and how it performs to make it more enjoyable. So hopefully this video can help you guys out. I'm going to go through the video settings, the graphic settings with you guys. I do play on PC on Steam that I found to be the best for me, and kind of give you my thoughts on that, and then a little bit of the other accessibility changes you guys can keep an eye out for that made the experience just a little bit better for me as well. So let's go through the graphic settings really quick here first. So we got display mode. I always do borderless full screen. That's kind of a personal preference for me though. You can do windowed if you want, but borderless full screen for sure. And then obviously 1920 by 1080. For VSync, I have this off. If you're having any screen tearing, anything like that in the game, I highly recommend turning it on. It even says it right here. It basically forces your graphics card to operate no higher than your monitor's refresh rate. To avoid that, it's really helpful if you're having like performance issues or anything like that. I maybe recommend turning it on, but so far Suicide Squad has been running great. Target frame rate, I have mine set at 120. I might be able to go to 140. You can see my FPS up in the top right. I'm hitting 120 right now, but I am in the menus right now. When I'm in game, I'm usually sitting around 110, around 100 FPS, with most of the settings on as high as they can go. But I like 120 for sure. Anti-aliasing upscaling mode. Okay, so this is pretty important. I was messing around a lot with these settings. I think by default it had me on F or TAA maybe, or FSR. I can't remember exactly. The game did not look very good at all. In any way, shape, or form. From what I saw, DLSS and DLAA is by far the better options from what I've seen. DLSS gives me slightly more FPS, like maybe 5 or 6 frames when I'm running around in the game with the same settings I have on now. So if you're looking for a higher FPS, or maybe you don't have a beefy PC or something like that, maybe looking to do in DLSS, and then you can adjust the settings here below, which I'll mention here in a sec. DLAA is very similar. They kind of do the same sort of effects, but I do get a slightly, I think very slightly better image quality with like losing 5 FPS. But like I said, I'm around 100 to 110 FPS most of the time. So DLAA it is, because it looks just a little bit crisper. Down here, quality presets, you can set this wherever you want. It was on high, but I changed a couple settings here because I don't like them. Shadow quality, I turned down to medium. This affects obviously shadows in the game, but also affects view distance, so it's kind of your preference for any game. I don't know why, but I always turn this down at least to medium, maybe even low. It's just a personal preference for me, but if you have a beefy PC or anything like that, you don't have to worry about doing this. And if you like far view distance, I still think the medium view distance is really good. So I have this on view. Texture quality is high, volumetric fog quality high, level of detail high, ray tracing I have off. That's up to you guys. An FPS counter I have on just for this video for you guys. I also like to see it too in my performance if I'm having like hiccups or something like that, so I can adjust some settings. But so far it's been great. If you guys are having any FPS issues or performance issues, this game has been fantastic so far, especially since, early access and this game just came out. And there's usually a ton of issues with games that come out on PC nowadays. I haven't had any issues. It's been amazing. But if you guys are having some stuff like that, I recommend turning down texture quality, volumetric fog quality, turning this down to low probably as well. And then level of detail, and like I said, maybe change this to DLSS. So as we go down here further, I have field of view all the way turned up to 110. I don't understand. I mean, it's preference for sure, but obviously it's your field of view for your character and stuff like that. It defaults at 90. Most games are like 90, 85. Turn this up to 110, and thank me later. It's so worth it. Camera shake, I turn this down slightly just because I don't like it as much. Especially because I'm recording and stuff like that. Motion blur, I always have this off. In any game, I always have this off. That is a preference thing for sure, but I do not like it. Bloom, most of the time, I turn off bloom in my games. I don't like it. It can affect like hues and colors in games, and sometimes it can be a little bit too much for me. This game, I think it's phenomenal. It's preference though. Mess with it as much as you want. Lens flare, I have this off. I don't like it at all. And chromatic aberration, I almost always turn this off. Basically it's a visual effect that can blur objects and edges. Kind of gives you more of that visual fidelity quality. But I don't like how it looks. I don't like how it looks when I'm playing the game as I go through it. I don't like it sometimes for recording as well. And I've noticed in a lot of games it also affects performance, like FPS. So it hasn't affected me at all, but I just don't like it myself. So I have this off. I also turn film grain up to 100. That's kind of my graphic settings, guys. There's a couple other settings here I recommend. Let's go over to controls. Control here, I do play in controller. I'm just using MK right now to show you guys this stuff, but The default sensitivity, like aim down sight speed, is super slow, so I turn all this up. I recommend maybe messing with it as well. You can also mess with the dead zones. It's set to 25, which is incredibly high. I would turn that down as well. I could probably go even lower than this, but this is all personal preference. They even have an aim assist mode where you can turn it low, or you can even turn it off. I like default, obviously. Vibration I have on, but I also they allow you to turn it down, which is really cool. As for gameplay, you can turn on auto run, really cool. Toggle aiming if you prefer that. Tap inputs versus press inputs. I like tap. Input cooldown, you can do this, and you can also disable graphic neck bomb effects. So it's just kind of up to you. Camera distance, I messed around with this a little bit. I do like the base camera distance, but you can actually move this up quite a bit. If you want more distance from your player character, maybe you just prefer that, it's too close. I think they have it at a great distance right now, so I recommend 0, but it's completely up to you guys. Camera recenter, I have this off. I don't think I need it. I don't like it either. Camera flip, I have this off as well. And then you can kind of mess around with whatever else settings you guys want. HUD, there's a lot here in interface. You can change if you want your mini-map on, if you want it off. Maybe you're looking for some cool screenshots or something like that. Aiming reticle, you can turn this off. Enemy health bars off. Enemy health bar prompts. Damage numbers. Incoming damage indicators. Player names. Player markers. Dynamic tutorials. Combat flare challenges. They have tons of full screen effects, low health shield screen effects, colorblind modes, which is really cool, even customized specific colors. There's a lot up to play around with here, and if you don't like the look of something or you don't think you need player names on your screen, or I do recommend keeping damage numbers on or something like that, you can turn all this off. So I just wanted to kind of go through that with you guys just so you guys know it's there. If you want to mess with something, if you didn't look into it at all. Settings here, it's kind of the same thing you always have. They have some dynamic range stuff here you can do depending on what speaker you're using, which is pretty cool. They also have a streamer mode if you guys are looking into streaming or something like that. Subtitles. This is something I recommend checking out, because I think the subtitles are too small. So I have subtitles on all my games, but they're really small. They have it default set to small here, which you can see on the screen. It's pretty small. And then they can even go large. So if you have a hard time seeing it or you're playing on a TV, I recommend maybe turning this up. Medium, I think, is a great spot. You can also change the text color here. I like white. I think it pops really well in a lot of the scenes so far. And then background color I also have is black. But you can change the opacity of it, which is really cool. So if I wanted to basically go away, I don't have any, or I could go really deep. I liked 70. I think it's a good in-between for it. It's not too much, doesn't stand in the way as much, but I can also see the text pretty well, which I really like. It also has speaker names, but you can turn this off, which is pretty cool. And text-to-speech if you need that. Voice chat, a lot of settings here, but that's basically it. Accessibility is basically a lot of the settings that I mentioned already are just put in one spot here, but it's pretty cool that they have it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you have any questions down below, and I'll do my best to help you guys out. And I hope you guys are enjoying Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. It's a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it, and I'll catch you in the future videos.